Now for our next one, we're gonna graph f of x is equal to x squared minus 6x minus 3. So if we go back to our graph, we have another option in order to kind of get a new page, and that's really to go back to the home page and click on the graph tool, and that's going to add a new graph where you see f2 of x. This keeps the previous graph in memory. I still have the previous page, but now I have a new blank page where I can graph some more stuff. This page still has f1 of x there, you just don't see it, it's not selected. So what I'm going to do, let's graph f of x is equal to x squared minus 6x minus 3, and hit enter. We see a new graph. We want to change the window so we can see all parts of the graph and have a good view. So I'm going to double click on the 10. That looks pretty good. Then I'm going to double tab over to this, which needs to be a little bit lower. Maybe let's go down to negative 12. You'll get better at kind of guessing checking this stuff. Let's tab over. Negative 10 looks to be too much. Maybe we don't need that much, so I'm going to hit negative 3. Tab over, then 6.67 is fine. Still not seeing enough of the bottom of the graph, so let's tab all the way back to that bottom and change that to maybe a negative 15. That's plenty. Okay, so this is a better window of the graph itself. But now we want to find the max or the mins. That's the next step of this. Maxes and mins occur at turning points where you go from a decreasing area to an increasing area. That would be the vertex of a parabola. So, as we did before, whenever we want to find something, we can go to the menu and analyze graph, and you'll see an operation for min or max. Now, getting out of this menu for just a bit, I can hit escape to kind of get out of the menus. This little point down here is a minimum. It's at the bottom of a thing. It's basically any minimum point is when you go from an area of decreasing to an area of increasing. Hit menu, analyze graph. Let's go to minimum. So that would be the second option. And once again we get that vertical line, just like we did with zeros. Left bound, I want to move it left to the minimum. Hit click, right bound. You'll see that it starts to appear. So once it appears we can click. And we see that 3, negative 12 is the ordered pair of our minimum. Now we're going to open up a new graph and try to do a maximum one. So let's do home, new graph, and let's go negative x squared plus 4x minus 15. Enter. You'll notice that this graph we can't even see. Something happened. If I hit tab to see what the equation was, I can't see it, so let's hit up. If I plug 0 in for x, I get negative 15 for y. That means that we got to somehow get our y to go all the way down to negative 15 and maybe even a little bit beyond. So I'm going to start there and change this y value to maybe a negative 20. And up there it appears. Now, we could show more of the graph, but if all I wanted to do was to get the maximum value, namely the value of the vertex, this is plenty to see it. So I'm going to go menu, analyze graph, maximum. Left bound means move it to the left of the maximum. Right bound means move it to the right. And you see I get this ordered pair to negative 11, which we can click. And you can take your cursor and click hold, and grab and move that if you need to see it better. To negative 11 would be the ordered pair of that maximum, and that would be the vertex of the parabola.